Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation on employee privacy for MPA 540 Public Personnel Management with Dr. Beth Groves. The following is an overview of what will be covered in this presentation. It will be employee privacy and employers, the theory, two examples, and my opinion on the topic. Employee privacy is important in both the public and private sectors. Specifically, we'll be covering the public sector and introducing the Privacy Act of 1974. This act requires the protection of employees by the federal government and federal agencies. So personal information such as social securities or identifying numbers or citizenship proof, all of these are personal information that need to be protected by the federal government and cannot be shared by employers to outside agencies or outside organizations. So the Privacy Act does protect employees in that sense. So this act does protect employee information. So the question is whether employees are protected from their employers regarding their personal information. The following is a theory I will be applying to my understanding of what the answer to that question would be. An approach to the employee privacy questions would be through the scientific management theory. In this theory, management is encouraged to monitor, measure, and control employee work. The basis for this theory is to ensure employee efficiency and overall organizational productivity. When it comes to employee information, if an employee is logging on to websites that requires them to use their personal information, for this we can use the example of social media. If an employee is using an organization's equipment to log on to social media and post personal things while on company time or an agency's time, then the company or organization, public agency, etc., has the right to monitor and control this information. And the basis would be that in the public sector, public employees, public servants are meant to be serving the public, and they cannot efficiently do that if they are using the time to do personal tasks or if they are engaging in misconduct while on company or organization time. Example number one would be employee health, personal health information. This is regarding the pandemic that we are experiencing in the present day. The question that has been brought up is whether a manager is able to ask an employee if they have tested either negative or positive for COVID-19 or if they are planning to get tested for COVID-19. Human Resources in the public library setting made it very clear that this information is personal health information, an employee's personal health information, which a manager does not have the right to ask about. Instead, Human Resources has encouraged that an employee inform or disclose to their managers whether they are experiencing symptoms. However, this is very clear. This is their choice to do so, their personal freedom to disclose this. Managers cannot ask about it because this is personal health information. And in the encouragement for employees to disclose is based on being able to ensure that the employee has time to stay at home and recover if they are sick, and in doing so also protect the rest of staff so that we are able to continue serving the public. Example number two is different from example number one. Example number one is talking about personal health information, and Human Resources has made it clear that an employee does not have to disclose that information, and employers cannot ask them that information. Example number two, however, is a different area of employee privacy. This has to do with company, organization, property. If an employee is using company or organization property or equipment, then the employer does have the right to monitor what they are doing. And in the videos that we watched this week, video number 2 talks about this concept. The reason behind it is productivity, organizational productivity. Just like with scientific management theory, the theory specifically focuses on ensuring that employees are completing their tasks, and this requires monitoring and measuring and control from management in order to ensure that the organization is achieving their productivity goals. And so, therefore, if an employee is using company equipment, then the company does have the right to monitor, just in, to ensure that employees are not wasting company time and or are not using company time and equipment to do their own personal tasks. Employment contracts typically disclose how they use employee personal information. Many organizations and agencies in government will monitor an employee's actions, activities, engagement, etc., while they are on the job, and sometimes even on their personal time. This can also include social media sites. If an employer deems an employee's conduct on their Facebook page, for example, as being part of misconduct, then they can potentially ask the employee about it. However, it would have been previously stated on the employment contract. This would also be the same for employees who are using organization or agency equipment or property when they are working, and if they are accessing or completing personal tasks during this time with this equipment. An example that I have encountered in previous organizations or companies has been about taking personal phone calls. If I were to take a personal phone call during my work hours and not on my break, not on my free time, and let's say the call would take over half an hour, this would impede on my productivity for the organization, and therefore the employer could potentially ask me about it. And this was stated in the employment contract before I would have started the job or the position. These are the references used for this presentation on employee privacy and employers' right to know. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure learning with everyone.